Well, it's been just over 24 hours since WoW Classic Era Anniversary Edition launched. And it didn't launch, it launched. And man, oh man, did I have fun last night. I think I can speak for the majority of players. It was a nice and clean launch, except for a few things which we'll talk about here. There's always drama with these launches, right? There's always going to be some sort of like, oh, there's a 5,000 person queue and I wasn't able to log in until the 1 a.m. in the morning. Well, in this case, if you did try to log in at 1 a.m. in the morning, you'd be hit with maintenance, unfortunately. But hey, you know, I got in, I got some good names. Not the exact names that I wanted. You know, names are really important for me when I'm playing classic World of Warcraft. Generally, with any MMO, I'm really, really picky about my names, and I put a lot of thought into them, and it kind of bums me out when I can't get the ones I want. They're kind of silly basic names, but like to have certain names, there's just something special about it to me. And so you can see right here, I'm panicking trying to get the names that I want just as the servers go live. And, you know, I got a couple good ones, and I was pretty happy with what I got. I think I ended up with Wrathful and for like a warrior. And then I got Frosty for a mage. So I was pretty happy with those two. And then I randomly got my full name. My name is Samuel. And I got Samuel. I've never been able to grab my full name. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, so I got the names, and thankfully there's like that 24-hour lock where it's like if you grab the name, it's locked to your account for 24 hours if you delete the character or something like that. I think that's how it goes. And anyways, I didn't really have any problems just grabbing the name, deleting that character, and making the actual character. So that was all good. And here I'm just going through and trying to get both of those names. You know, there's that question, like that question comes up, what's in a name, right? And it's a lot to me, because like it's how other players interact with you. It's you know, something special behind it. And so I really just wanted to make sure that I was going to get these names. Back in 2019 when Classic first launched, there was like, I think it was like a week before, you were able to log in and reserve your names. And I remember doing it at work. In the middle of work, I had brought my personal PC, and I logged in to reserve the names. I won't tell you where I was working at the time, but yeah, I got a couple good ones. I think I got Rage that time, which I was super excited about. So I get logged in and, you know, get add-ons all set up. It's kind of, my UI is kind of cluttered right now, but I eventually fix it. But I'm using, you know, I will admit I'm using RXP, and I just kind of wanted to enjoy Classic without really having to think about it too hard. And RXP lets you do that. So it's a cool add-on, and it's pretty straightforward, and it's just guide rails. And sometimes it's nice to, after a stressful day at work or life or whatever's going on, you just don't want to like have to do that extra brain power of like, okay, where do I go next for this quest and that. It's like super nice to just be able to turn the add-on on. There's an arrow, buy this weapon, buy that, do this, kill that, and not really think about it, but you're still making solid progression. I don't think it takes away from me personally. I know some people, there are elitists and all that, but you know, to each their own, I think. And there's room for saying that, yeah, I leveled up Classic without one single guide or add-on. Great, man. There's an accomplishment. I definitely appreciate that. But for me, it's just like I want to come in, not think about what I have to do necessarily, and kind of go brainless. And it's just kind of relaxing, almost like I'm watching a TV show. So yeah, that was super nice. You know, there weren't any login queues, like I said. You know, there was mention in the chat that if you logged out, there was a 5K line, but I didn't ever see that line. And I got to play for a solid 6 or 7 hours straight, and I was pretty happy with that. One of the big problems that I face, though, and I'm not trying to complain or anything, I think it's just something that's launch specific only. So it's not going to be like you're going to have to face this every day. The starter zones were insanely packed, and it was like everybody was spawn camping. I tried to take an alternate route at one point during the leveling and go further until to Teldrassil, and it kind of worked. And then I doubled back and finished some quests for the files, where you have to fill the files up in those pools around the Everglade, or not the Everglade, those pools where they're collecting the files filled with water or whatever it is. I doubled back because that's a big chain in the Night Elf area, so I could accomplish that. And for being a warrior, it actually helped me get a level up, like a level higher than the mobs, so that was super helpful. But yeah, like I said, everybody was spawn camping mobs. It was it wasn't like, sometimes it was frustrating, but it was like everybody, we're all in this together. That's kind of what it felt like. You know, I would get frustrated sometimes when, you know, somebody would just come up and steal the mob that I'm clearly trying to hit. But hey, yeah, I mean, it's every man for himself out there on launch day, and I think everybody kind of knew that. No one got mad at each other or anything like that, so that's good. And it is what it is. I don't think you're going to log in today and find that people are still spawn camping these mobs, so you're going to be okay, and it's good. There was this interesting phenomena that I don't remember from 2019 Classic, maybe because I played the Horde side, but the starter area, if you started right with the first launch, like within the first, 3 or 4 minutes of the servers going up, there was like hundreds of people in this bottleneck, and they were all, it all seemed like they were following the same guide, so everybody had RXP or something, and it all seemed like we were going the exact same route. And there was this like mass group of like 150 to 200 players, it seemed, that we would all be on the same quest. And it was kind of an interesting phenomena. It was cool to see all those people. Like, this is a 20-year-old game. And people are still coming back for this experience. And it really speaks to how precious and how phenomenal this game really is. They do not make games like this anymore. And, I think this and then old school RuneScape, those are like the top 2 games of all time for me. They don't make games like that really just take that extra step, if you will, in their development. They take the extra care to drive the player into the lore, to drive the player into this sense of feeling like their actions matter, like they're in the world and they're deep in it. And no other game really pulls that off today. It's just plagued by microtransactions, battle passes, and you know what it is out in the game world today. Everything is quick, everything costs extra money, and it's just like, it's a vending machine nowadays in gaming, is the best way I could put it. But Classic, and along the lines of, kind of same lines as old school RuneScape, I think they just have the magic that, it feels like, it's a built in a room of, a core group of 10, 12 developers who really just night and day poured their soul, poured their heart into this game, and all the passion that they have just dropped into this game. And it's really something special, and I wish they still made games like this. And it makes me reminisce of better times. But hey, we're still here, we're still playing it, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I don't think there was any real big technical issues. It was a pretty smooth launch altogether for, a 20-year-old game with the popularity that it has. I think they did a patch at 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. PST, if you are on that side of the world. That was after I already went to bed. I'm an older guy. Like, not super old. I'm in my 30s still, but I'm tired at night. I got 2 kids and I work during the day. So it didn't really affect me, but I know that was for the tryhards and the guys who are in their seats for the first 24 hours. Maybe they got a little sleep during that time or what. It was nice. I think the atmosphere overall in this first few 24 hours here has been phenomenal. And I've got a core group of friends that I usually play with, and I'm like, I was telling them, hey, I'm going to play on Night Scythe, and I really wanted to PvP and do all that because I had a great experience last time I did the PvP server. They did not play on this server, so they went to Dream Scythe instead, and which is fine, so we kind of worked it out, and I found out later that they went on Dream Scythe because I was just so focused on leveling. So the majority of that group went to Dream Scythe, and I think I will end up building a character there, and just leveling with them. I think I made a couple characters there. I actually got, yeah, I did. I got the name Cool on that realm, which again, like names are important to me. So I was super happy about that. I got Cool, and then I forget what else it's gonna be. What was the other name that I got? Oh, I think I got Strong without a vowel, so it's just STRNG or something like that. So I'm pretty happy with those names, and I think I'll probably roll with those guys on there so I can have a core group of friends there. Our goals are, we're not really tryhards. We just want to. I want to hit 60. Like, that's it. I want to see the content. I want to make sure that as a WoW player for almost 20 years, I want to make sure I see everything that I can see. I started at the end of vanilla in my experience. It was like a few months before Burning Crusade came out. So I really didn't play Classic, and I never hit 60 in the traditional sense there. So I really want to make sure that this time around I do hit 60. I do get the full vanilla experience. I've played every other expansion since, so I'm kind of like a BC baby, but I really want to make sure that I do my due diligence to this game I love so much and really hit that 60 mark. I think it's going to be with Mage, though. I know you're seeing warrior content right here, but I think it's going to be with Mage just to really solidify the fact that kind of solidify my chances so I can get in. And I know Mage is super easy to level, and it's one of those that are really up there, and it's faster to level if you do the AoE. So I'm definitely going to try that and get that going and all of that. So it's going to be on Dream Scythe. I know it's not going to be with Wrathful or my other mage here, which you'll see shortly, but it'll be with Cool. It's Cool. It's a human mage on Dream Scythe, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, I think I had a great experience on the first launch day. It was phenomenal. I had a great time. I didn't meet any friends along the way, but it's just relaxing. I had a nice day of work, and then my wife and my kids I'm like, okay, bye, I love you. And they just kind of knew, like, okay, Dad's gonna go play tonight, and he's gonna go away for a little bit. And I just had a great time. It was really peaceful, relaxing. And I think that one of the things about this game that will always stick with me is that peace. And I mentioned it before in a previous video, but there's always this like sense of relief, this sense of like, hey, you can shut down your mind. You're still thinking, obviously, and you're still thinking about, your core life, but it's sort of a little bit of an escape, and not in a bad way or anything. I'm not neglecting my responsibilities outside of work, but it is sort of like a nice little relief, like sort of like a rest and relaxation. I don't really have to think about anything while I'm playing this, and I can have that sort of like my mind's quieted down a little bit. Not saying that this game is meditation for me, not at all. Meditation is different for me outside. But yeah, I think that this game really provides sort of like a nice little rest and relaxation. And I hope that you can experience that same when you play this game. But yeah, for my goals here, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what's next in Classic. You know, this is a day one video and kind of everything I experienced day one. But I really want to, you know, the main goal is like level 60, right? I want to see that content. But level 60 is a pretty long journey. So I need goals that are obtainable and kind of like within reach. So first off, I'm kind of looking for a raiding guild. And this guild isn't going to be try hard. We might clear MC on the first week or whatever it might be. It doesn't have to. We can attempt some bosses. I know it's pretty easy. That raid is pretty easy from what I hear. But it doesn't have to clear the whole raid. But I'd sure like to. I don't think that's too try hard. But so that means there's not like a hardcore cadence to needing to level, but a pretty decent one. So I'm looking to hit 25 to 30 at least this weekend through leveling and all of that. And then I'm kind of outside of the game. I'm kind of doing some extra research. I really want to make sure that I'm hitting all the extra things that I need to do. So in my setup, I am making sure to level the 2 characters. So I've got my main, right, which will be cool. You're not seeing my main right now, but it'll be cool. And then I've got a warrior alt. So I've already leveled both of them to 5, and then I've got both of them in an inn right now while I'm speaking on this video. But the idea will be that I'll level that alt character every whatever amount of, I think it's 8 hours for a bar or something like that. So a bar of rested experience. So I'll make sure to never have that warrior alt capped on rested experience, and always kind of log in and do some quests and make sure I'm always keeping up with that level on the alt while I'm leveling the mage. That way I'll have a decent sort of set of 2 characters. So I'm hoping to really level the mage, get it to max, and just start farming that gold. That way I can kind of funnel the gear to the warrior, because warrior, when you're leveling warrior, it's really gear intensive, and you really always need to have a good weapon, number 1, but then all the other gear really helps too. So I really just want to funnel that alt a lot of good gear and good money, and the best way to do that is pretty much AoE farm and sell all the cloth and the greens and all of that. So I think I'm gonna go push hard on my mage, get it to at least 25, 30 hopefully, and then from there I will keep my warrior leveled as far along as is reasonable. My mage is gonna have tailoring and enchanting. I really think that those are gonna be the best, because with tailoring you can obviously make bags, which is huge. And then I can make armor for myself as a mage, the cloth armor. But then enchanting, if I'm going to be AoE farming, that's going to be really good too, because I can just disenchant the greens right on the spot, and then sell any blues or whatever that do drop. So yeah, I think those plans are solid. I think my warrior will just have blacksmithing and mining, obviously. But I don't necessarily want to get into herbalism and alchemy and all that in this. I'll just buy my pots and mats and all that, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, and then once those are all figured out, the guild is going to be the huge thing. Like, again, like I said, I don't want it to be like a super casual guild that never raids. I don't want it to be like a hardcore guild that is like pushing for full clear, and you have to like be pre-best in slot on the before the raid night 3 weeks from now or whatever it is. I just don't have a life that can support that. I got 2 kids and a wife and responsibilities outside of that. So I really just want to enjoy the game at a pace that is sustainable and relaxing. Like I said, I'm using Rested XP, so I just want to make sure that I can sustain those responsibilities and some sort of a semblance of progression throughout Classic WoW. So yeah, those are my plans, and I'm really excited for this, and I love Classic, and I just, you know, I'm having a great time. So kind of more, not so much on Classic, but more on this channel. I'm looking to know what you guys think about this channel. Do you like this podcast sort of style of video where I just kind of talk about what's going on in World of Warcraft, kind of talk about where my goals are for my characters or anything like that? Or are you wanting more how-to videos or specific videos to specific parts of World of Warcraft? What are you guys thinking? Like, I want to make content that the audience likes to view, likes to interact with. I really want your input. I like making these podcast style videos and just kind of talking open-endedly. I don't really have a script. I have a couple lines in my notes on my phone, and then I just talk about those subjects from my heart, basically. And I think it's fun, and I think it's conversational. If you like this, leave a comment below. And, you know, I'm really kind of pushing hard on this YouTube thing, and I kind of want to see if it can support, you know, some of these hobbies that I have, and just kind of explore. I like the creative side of it. So if you want to support me in that goal, like, no pressure, but obviously, click that like and I can't even say it. Let's try again. Click that like and subscribe button, and it really helps me out because it helps grow the channel and let me know that you like what you're seeing, and the subscribers just want to keep coming back for more. So guys, thank you so much for coming along with me in this journey. Really appreciate both of you, all of you, and have a great day.